Okay, guys, we're going to look at Voltmeter Challenge today, and we'll look at our first module in Voltmeter Challenge, open circuits. So launch the software, program loads up. The first time you launch it, it is going to prompt you for a license key. Watch another video to get that information, put that in. Continue and enter your name. And remember, you do need to do this for your name to appear on your certificates. And now look at the modules available. We're going to look at Open Circuits 1 as our first module. This is an essential summary or practice of everything that we're getting into here. We're looking at the voltmeter as a diagnostic tool. And you saw a little of this in Lab 11 where we used it in a troubleshooting function and we took some data. We're going to continue that aspect of troubleshooting with a voltmeter and really apply it here to some basic scenarios. So Open Circuits 1 is where we're going. So this is pretty straightforward. Your base information there, and it is information that we know already. In a series circuit, if we open that circuit, current cannot flow and the light ends up going out, just as we did in our early series labs. We're now going to use a voltmeter to find that broken wire, to find that broken open section of the circuit. And the key fundamental takeaway, as we saw in the past two labs, the entire supply voltage is going to be found across that open part, or open wire, broken wire, whatever it may be in a series circuit. So we can use a voltmeter, we can probe different aspects of the circuit and find that area where all the source voltage is. So let's go ahead and click begin. What you have here is a very practical circuit. We have a car battery, typically about a 12-volt source, and it is connecting a heater element. Think of your automobile car heater as an electronic heater, and it has a fuse in line with this. And so looking at this simple series circuit, we have to find the open section. Here's your base instructions here. We're essentially going to be probing or moving our probes around the circuit. The red probe is the default one. If we want to move the black one, we have to hold our B key down to move our black probe. Look at your base circuit parameters. Essentially, you have a lead acid battery giving you 12 volts. We have a heater element of approximately 4 ohms, 100 watt, with a 5 amp fuse in the circuit itself. And so that's our overview, and here's our schematic. Knowing it's a simple series circuit, anywhere along here, any wire, any component that is broken creates an open section. We need to find that with our voltmeter. So to begin with, let's look at what our actual voltage is. So by clicking on the positive probe here, I am probing the battery, and I see that my source voltage is 12.44. That's the exact source voltage here. Now, there are a couple different strategies you can use to tackle this. When you look at Open Circuits 2, it times you and it looks at the number of clicks that you use to make a basic assessment. Anytime you do this, think about what is between your probes. If the black probe stays fixed, then think right now the entire circuit as between my probes. I'm going to move to the middle of this circuit, okay, and notice that I do have a voltage on my meter, but it dropped. It went from 12.4 to 12.2. Well, actually, what we saw is the fuse is no longer between our probes, and the only thing between my probes is the main load, and that's the heating element. And so that has most of the series load voltage, and the fuse in this case is actually intact. The fuse has a very slight amount of resistance, so it will have a small load voltage. This is actually probably a normal circuit operation that we're looking at here. So if I move my probe back to this side, notice it goes up, and in a summative manner, we have the heater element plus the fuse equaling my source voltage here. If my red wire was an open wire, I would see a 0 reading on my meter here, but I don't. So I know that this is normal operation, and I can say we look good. And it says, yeah, you're right. So a good practice to get into before you go on to your next question is to reset the probe to the positive lead here. And I didn't do that here, but notice I am seeing 12.4 volts, which is probably my battery source. What's between my probe? My whole circuit is. Let's get on the other side of the fuse. I still see that same amount without a load drop. So I do know there's an open somewhere in here, but I haven't gotten to it yet. And I come up here, and I'm still seeing that same 12.4 volts. If this changes, as I expect it will, on the other side of the heating element, notice we went from 12.4 to 0. The only thing between my probes right now is the green wire. So I come back, I add the heating element in there. It's my heating element that is the open in this particular case of the circuit. Remember, when we bridge the open gap with our voltmeter, we see all the source voltage. So my heating element is open here, and we can grade that. And there we are. We're correct with that one. Now again, remember, before continuing on, reset your probe. Good strategy to get into, especially later on when we start taking points away for the number of clicks you use. And get ready, and then hit continue to the next one. So we'll do one more here. Here our source voltage is 12.426. I'm going to come on the other side of the fuse. Okay, and notice I'm still pretty much 12.4, so I do have an open somewhere in here. I need to find that open. I can look here, and okay, I know that that the heating element actually is not our problem. It's our purple wire that's open here. Notice that on this side of the wire I'm at 0, and I'm on this side of the wire I'm at my 4 voltage. So when I bridge the open gap, if my purple wire is the open gap, I bridge the open gap, I get all of the battery voltage. On this side of the wire I have 0, where really I should still be seeing the load drop of the heating element, and I don't. Over here I have all the source voltage, so my purple wire is the open. And there we go, we're correct there. One last one. I said one last one last time, but I enjoy doing this. Again, remember to reset. So we have 12.2 at our source. We're going to look on this side of the fuse to begin with, strategically. Now notice we're going straight from 12.2 to 0. So I know that I have to move this way with my probes. It's a possibility the fuse is blown here. And it sure is the case. On this side we have 0. On this side we have 12.2. So my fuse is blown here, and I'll say grade that item, and we're good on that one. Again, remember, reset before you hit continue. Good luck with your others.